in September, just before university started, I went away on a project that I set up last year, January. And the project was to actually help, it was a charity project. It was to help a poor community in Senegal who didn't have a community centre. So we're trying to figure out how could we raise money for this project. And the money that had to be raised was £10,000, so it was a quite substantial amount. I was thinking, you know, we can't just go around asking people. I keep asking people, and it's not, you know, there comes a point where you have to be quite creative. So what we did was we came up with the idea of, why don't we just drive to Senegal to lay the first brick? That would be a bit of a challenge. And then while we're driving there, you know, people, you hear the tweets, and you know, you will hear the stuff on social media, and you probably think, oh, they're actually doing it. This is worth giving some money to, so why don't we do that? So that's what we started. So in that way, so we did that in September. We actually drove there. So we went through France, Spain, Morocco, Mauritania, and Senegal. And what I learned on that trip was to recognize the value of operating in more than one language. I couldn't get there without having, like, just speaking English. It just wasn't going to happen. So luckily I had a friend that could speak both Italian. I don't know how that came in use. Even though we didn't go through Italy, and French. And French was a big hit because it's widely spoken. And in Europe, what tends to happen is they tend to speak more than one language, whereas the British, we just speak English. I've been to some events at university, from any society events or any debating events and such, and just going to lectures that weren't part of my degree structure or anything like that. It's just out of hours. And just going there and arguing, you know, in a correct manner and concise, and finding out, you know, what they were trying to convey, and then my opinions on it, and then trying to find a middle ground where we could kind of negotiate and come to an agreement. And it was interesting because that's what I say university is about. It's about finding your own ground and coming out with your own opinions and seeing where it goes and seeing if it's right and stuff like that. And the final point was possessing the skills to negotiate, lead and influence, and that was through, I established a charity that I work for called Restless Beings under the umbrella of RAG, which is Raise and Giving. So literally it's just going out there whenever we had a project, being out in the library square or going through the university and trying to motivate people to get involved with charity work across university. So yeah.